This was a very unusual mixed bag of an episode. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on episode 9 of Titans Season 2, Atonement. And the title itself really speaks for it, as it's really focused on the atonement of Grayson and him and his guilt for being the one responsible for Jericho's death. At least in his eyes. He's more indirectly responsible for it, while it's Deathstroke who's the one who's really responsible for it. And let me just say, Slade Wilson, and once again we see him in this episode in a really unusual scene that had me scratching my head here. But even still, the performance done by Morales is just amazing. He really brings the presence and menace of Deathstroke to the character. And the thing is, we've hardly had him do much of anything, or barely yet talk that much. So yes, this guy Isa Morales does an amazing job, and if we get to see more of him in future seasons, if they are making future seasons, which I think they are, which I'll explain when I get to Starfire here. But if they do, I really hope we can see more of him, or better yet, maybe have a spin-off show, because that guy does an amazing job. And now as for the episode in general, like I said, Grayson going through his atonements, and at the ending of the episode also gave you hints as to maybe how we're gonna finally get introduced to Nightwing with the last three or four episodes we have now on our shoulders here. But definitely, guys, while it did have some good spots to it, it also had some cranky spots to it. Let's go ahead and start off with the OG Titans. So Grayson finally confessed to everybody about what truly happened with Jericho. And even though he admitted he only did a half-truth and half of a lie to the OG Titans, what I don't understand is why the OG Titans were getting so mad at him, thinking they were innocent and everything, and the responsibility of Jericho's death. Sure, Grayson going to that church is probably what really sealed Jericho's fate, since Grayson allowed his emotions to get the better of him and everything. But in the end, this still was a plan that all the OG Titans went with, whether they liked Jericho or not and wanted to cut off all ties with him and everything. They still are responsible for it as well, which Raven points out to Donna Troy when Donna Troy was being hypocritical, forgetting that she also had a part into playing with Jericho's death as well. Because yes, Raven isn't happy with the fact that Grayson didn't tell her about a sin he made in the past, and asks for the other members of the Titans. Rose, of course, she being Rose herself, and very understandable, yes, since Grayson is responsible in a way for her brother's death. She's mad, so she leaves. Jason, he just leaves because he's got a thing for Rose, and you know Jason, big asshole, impulsive, so no need to go on with there. The only ones who truly stay true and faithful to Grayson are Starfire and Garfield. Starfire for obvious reasons, because of her crush on, because of the thing those two have, but also because she probably understands a thing or two about consequences and sins like that herself. Because don't forget, she's Tamaranian, a place where people are pretty much warriors and everything. While Garfield, well, he's pretty much like, the way he saw it is that, sure, he did something messed up, but he admitted to it and he apologized for it, so no doubt he's very regretful of it. He was pretty much sounding like Monkey D. Luffy. Yeah, Monkey D. Luffy, the main character in One Piece, as that flag over there will tell you, he's one of those people who, if people tell you about something bad they did, and then when they apologize, and Luffy can tell when they mean it, he's like, hey, well, you apologize, so it's okay. That's kind of how it was with Garfield here. But But as for Garfield, one thing you can take away from this episode is they finally gave him screen time and character time, really to show his character into where it is at season 2, because we hardly got that. I mean, sure, we got that with Rachel and knowing that her powers are still manifesting in a weird way, which is also shown with Donna Troy in a very weird, or better yet, put it this way, unexpected way that just doesn't explain things. But definitely with Garfield's character, it really shined. But I'll get to him here in a minute. As for Grayson, he went to actually visit Jericho's mother to try to make amends there, which is where he also ended up finding Slade waiting there and saying how all he wanted to do was make the Titans break up. And now that they are, he's won. He psychologically beat Grayson and is now making them suffer. But if he ever brings the Titans back together again, he will find them and he will kill them. Now, there's just one thing about this scene that's messing with me. Why, after everything that Adrian has like done to stay away from Deathstroke after what he did to ruin her and Jericho's lives, why would she allow him to be in there right now? I mean, I think she would not want either Grayson or Slade to ever be in her house. Now, Grayson, on the other hand, he just came here because he wanted to talk and make amends, so her letting him come in there, that I can get behind. But her with Deathstroke, that Slade with Slade Wilson, that just got me head scratching. And then there was a fact in how Adrian said that if you go into that room, you can tell both of them are them how sorry you are. In other words, this is making me think, has Jericho really possessed his father? It's possible. And not to mention when after having that talk, that Deathstroke was starting to sound very weird as he strutted and was talking so randomly as if he was being controlled. Maybe Jericho really is possessing his father. There's a very good possibility that that is happening right there. And now ask for a ending. Well, Grayson, he was gonna leave, but he eventually and intentionally made himself an assaulted security guard so he could be arrested, which will no doubt lead into that what I told you guys, and I think it will introduce us to Nightwing. And that's in the fact that he gets arrested, he gets put in jail, but Bruce Wayne's gonna come and bust him out. And then somehow Bruce Wayne, and now you know about their father-son history there, and somehow he's gonna make Grayson finally let go of the sins of his past and finally put them to rest so he can move forward, which will finally introduce the Nightwing costume. Now this is me saying I believe we're gonna probably finally see the Nightwing costume if at the end of next week's episode. This is just a guess though, guys. It's just a guess. And when I say see it, I mean we'll just see it being given to him through a case or like in some sort of glass saying, this is your new costume. Now go be a new hero, a new identity hero. That's what could introduce us to Nightwing, and then we see him donate in the episode after next week's episode. Now, but like I said, guys, that's just a guess on that end. And now let me go into the other stars such as Beast Boy and Starfire. Beast Boy, he had the job of taking care of Connor Kent because he was still asleep and everything. But once Connor Kent woke up, that Beast Boy and him started to hang out, have some fun, and yeah, it really did show a good chemistry there between them. But it also showed that Beast Boy's still a little experienced and inexperienced about what to do and everything, but that's okay. He's at least learning from it, as he saw when he made the mistake of taking Connor out in the outside so they could learn how to be heroes, and not knowing that Connor is still immature. He doesn't really know the difference between who are the good guys and who are the bad guys and everything, such as when he saw police officers handcuffing a thief or someone. He thought that thief was the good guy and the cops were the bad guy, which led into him causing him to assault all sorts of police officers, and even uses heat vision on a car. Yikes right there. Yikes. And that horrified Beast Boy to where he ran away and asked for Grayson's help. Of course, Grayson didn't answer him because he was going through that phase of getting himself being arrested and everything. But still, it really finally gave us some more development to Beast Boy's character. Him being the fun-loving guy as we know him to be, for one thing, and him showing a vulnerable side and still trying to learn things and knowing when he's made a mistake and how scared he can get with how horrified of a mistake he can make. It really showed right there. But one thing you gotta look out for is next week's episode, as I saw, well, at least one picture showing Beast Boy who's being attacked by soldiers. So it's obviously clear that incident caught the eyes of Mercy Graves, who has sent soldiers to Titan's Tower. But I'm sure he'll be fine, especially if I'm thinking Starfire's on the way back to the tower. Because for Starfire in this episode, well, for her, she had to deal with her sister Blackfire, who, while we didn't get necessarily physical appearance of her, we got a holographic image of her. But physical appearance is still a physical appearance, holographic or not. And yeah, it really seems like the person who's playing her really looks like she could pull off on the character. She's already got the intense hatred of her sister Corey Starfire down, and the chemistry those two are showing together for a sibling rivalry shows some very good development there. But I also see this as maybe being a setup going forward for season 3. That's what I may see going forward, because as we all know, the last few episodes are going to deal with Deathstroke taking on Nightwing and the Titans as they finally put the past behind them and decide to really don their costumes and let it all out for good and be heroes once again. And after that's all done, I think this is where Blackfire might send people off to Tamaran to come and get her sister Starfire. But definitely, I can't wait to see more, because I really love Anna as Starfire. She does an amazing job, and she really has been knocking it out of the park. Even back in season 1, she knocked it out of the park. In season 2, though, she's just knocking it out of the park even more. I love it. It's great. But one more other few characters to talk about are Hank and Don, who, as I said, like Donna Troy, they were being hypocrites too. But I think it really started to show here how much they run away from their past. When the kid they were trying to help with drug problems, Elias, they ran into her sister, who blames them for his death. And yes, they kind of are and kind of aren't, just like Grayson and all. But at the same time, unbeknownst to her Elias's sister, that she makes a point about him, and the fact that they don't really try to own up to their past, and they just try to keep moving on, pretending like it's all in the past and we can just run away from it. Which is eventually shown, as it showed how Hank feels affected by what that lady says, that it ends up making a weird decision in him, decided that maybe he and Don are better off not being together because all they bring is pain. And I'm just like, huh? What? I don't get that. I mean, I get that they are running away just like Grayson from the past, just like Donna Troy is, but that is just weird. That is just messed up. But one thing I will say, I was surprised when they were singing "Ain't No Mountain High Enough." Yeah, I didn't know those two could sing, but wow, they did sing, and they did an amazing job. But definitely, guys, this episode was definitely one to behold for. That's for definitely sure. Besides Rose and Jason leaving together, there hasn't been much shown with them, but I'm sure we'll be seeing them again here soon, just as I'm sure we'll see Connor again soon. But definitely, it's everything that we got right now is making me look forward to more of what's coming. Even though this episode was probably my least favorite of season 2 right now, it still had some good spots, and it still gave you a lot of fan theories to think about going forward. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that, guys. And hey, if you're enjoying my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified of when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMixer signing out.